Hi everybody, Dr. Doreste, Cranial Release Technique. It's Friday morning, about 10:30. I'm waiting on some patients, so I'll have to make this a short one. But I moved in recently back to New York City, as most of you know. We moved into a condo building. And there's a new gentleman there that's a cleaner, and I was talking to him the other day. I finally got to say hello to him. And I mentioned that I'm a chiropractor. And I don't know what his understanding of chiropractic is. He's originally born in Europe, now lives here most of his life. I don't know if he's ever been to a chiropractor, but he looked at the card. We discussed a little something, and then he said, "Well, I'll hold on to your card, and I hope I never need to use you." And I was ready to walk away, and I said, I have to just explain a couple basic things to him. So I said, "Well, let me just explain something to you, my friend. What controls every part of your body?" And he said, "Is that the brain?" I said, "Exactly right." And I didn't have the model with me. I would have been good to walk around with it, but I didn't have it at the time. But I did explain to him that, yes, the brain controls every function of the body, the things that we're aware of and we're not aware of. And then I had him take his fist, and I said, "Make a fist," and he did that. And I said, "Pretend that's your brain." And since I'm here by myself, I don't have someone else to show you what I did. So I'm going to use the model of the brain as if it was his fist, which is the brain. I said, "We have 22 bones that protect the brain. That's called the skull or the cranium." He said, "Yeah, okay, that makes sense." I didn't know we had 22. I said, "Yeah, there are 22. And those bones can shift and tighten down." And I squeezed his wrist. And I said, most people are going through life like this, with the tension. I said, "Do you think that's a good thing or not so good?" He said, "No, that's no good." I said, "Do you understand that if you have tension on the brain, that could cause anything from," and I just started to mention things. Basically, the body not working right. Altered function. Since this is the computer that controls everything. Altered function, or not even maximize function, which is what cranial release is all about. It's taking the tension off the brain to maximize function throughout the body of the things that you're aware of and the things that you're not aware of. And he's like, oh, he started scratching his head. He said, "Oh, I never understood that." Again, I don't know what his understanding of chiropractic is or was. I get the feeling it's like most people, and that's the whole point of this, is educating your patients. So if you're a practitioner out there, if you're a cranial release technique practitioner, the key to me is education. If you can educate your patients as to why it makes sense to have the cranial release technique done on a regular basis to take the tension off and optimize function of the brain and the body, you hit a home run. And then you explain to them, you need to tell your wife or your husband or your kids or your mom or your dad or your neighbors or the people on your baseball team or whatever, that this is what we do in cranial release. And that's how you start to build a practice. If you're watching this and you're not a practitioner, and maybe you're a chiropractic patient, maybe you're a cranial release patient, great. If you're watching this and you're not a cranial release patient, you should really go to the website at cranialrelease.com and search, there's a button there that says find a practitioner, and hopefully there's someone in your neighborhood or your area that you can go to and get on the table and experience the beauty of this cranial release. And if you are a practitioner, you're a chiropractor, you're a physical therapist, you're a medical doctor, you're a dentist, you're a naturopath, you're a massage therapist, you're an occupational therapist, whatever it is that you do for a living, you probably should look into this too, because you're probably not using this technique, and that will make everything else that you're doing much more effective and easier on you physically. And you can look that up too on the website, cranialrelease.com. And there's a button there called Online Training Program where you can learn this work in the comfort of your home or office. So I just had a gentleman that signed up, referred by another practitioner, And he got the program not 3 days ago, and he went through it. And he said, I'm using it in practice. I'm seeing wonderful things happening already. And that's what I would call, if you're familiar with my martial arts, that's a white belt. Never mind becoming a black belt. That's someone right out of the gate that's seeing things. And this is someone that's in practice a long time. That's someone that's seeing things changing with the application of the cranial release. And like I said, he's a rookie. He's a white belt. And the more you do this, the better you get. So cranialrelease.com is the website. Thanks for watching. Again, the point of the story is you're better off without tension on the brain than with tension on the brain. And the one thing I know that takes tension off the brain is the cranial release technique. This is Dr. Doreste, live in New York City, Friday morning at 10:35. Hope all is well with all of you, and take a chance to go visit the website at cranialrelease.com. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Goodbye.